Fishing was Jonathan Moore's lifelong passion. It was something he had done since he was a little lad. His father would take him to the nearby lake on weekends and holidays, where they would spend hours sitting in a tiny rowing boat with their fishing rods, hoping to catch as many different kinds of fish as they could. Welcome to USA Stories channel. Do not forget to subscribe and activate the bell button to receive all new updates. Now let's go to the story. Jonathan used to be really upset when he didn't catch any fish when he was younger, since he frequently had to get up early and put in a lot of work to ensure that he had used the proper skills and expertise to catch the slippery critters. He felt that he should have a right to catch the animals. The child thought he had wasted his time when he didn't receive a bite, but Jonathan's father was always there to lift his spirits when he started to experience depression. The father would explain his son that sometimes it was just not possible to catch the fish that day, and that, like with most things in life, the best course of action was to return home and try again the following day. Simply said, persistence, patience, and determination are the keys to both successful fishing and a happy life. When everything is put together, Jonathan will be able to accomplish anything he sets his mind to. Jonathan followed his father's advice for a while. The little child wanted to do all in his power to make his father pleased since he looked up to him. Jonathan was 10 years old when he and his father decided to check out a location a bit further from their regular site in an attempt to capture a rare fish they had heard existed in that specific body of water. The two waited for the elusive, uncommon fish to nibble at their bait for the whole day, sitting at the lake's edge. Jonathan and his father would relocate to different spots around the lake during the day in the hopes that the new location would reveal the enigmatic fish. Regretfully, it proved ineffective, and other from a handful of common bluegills, the two returned empty-handed. Jonathan and his father went back to the new lake for a few weeks, hoping to capture the elusive fish they had heard so much about. But the two failed miserably every single time. Jonathan's father developed an obsession with the enigmatic fish over time. The man would spend his free time at the lake with his fishing equipment. Since Jonathan was too young to take care of himself, he would first have to follow his father's lead. However, he started going fishing less and less as he grew older. Jonathan's buddies gathered to his house on his 13th birthday. In the living room, they were all engrossed in a video game when Jonathan's father entered, fully outfitted in his fishing gear. His kid said, "Are you ready to go?" Jonathan got up and informed his dad that he didn't want to go fishing that day, embarrassed that his friends thought fishing was a stale pastime for elderly men. He truly had no desire to go fishing ever again. Jonathan's father went to the lake by himself after becoming discouraged and leaving the house. Jonathan's father would frequently ask his son if he wanted to go fishing during the ensuing years. The elder man would get up in his fishing attire every weekend and ask Jonathan if he wanted to go fishing with him, but each weekend he would receive the same response. The young child was better off doing other things than sitting on a lake's edge, shivering and smelling like bait, hoping to capture a figment of his imagination. Jonathan's father was dejected and would leave each time feeling more and more alone. For the following 5 years, this kept happening. Jonathan developed into a responsible adolescent during that period, making the most of his free time to hang out with his pals. His father could scarcely recognize the young child who had grown up and was seeing less and less of his son. He was significantly more irritable and rarely gave his family specifics about his day. But all of that changed on a fateful day when Jonathan was 18. It had begun as any other typical day. After waking up, Jonathan went to his high school, eager to graduate in the next weeks. His dad had left for his job as a fisherman at the nearby docks. The man had always wanted to work in fishing, and a few years ago, he managed to secure a position with a local fishery after finding the confidence to pursue his ambition. Things really started to go south around midday. Just as Jonathan was laughing and joking about with his pals, his mother called him out of the blue. This was strange because she always texted when she needed something, like supplies from the store. He answered the phone, a little alarmed to hear his mother sobbing on the other end. She informed Jonathan that his father had been involved in a serious hit-and-run accident and was in critical condition, so he needed to hurry to the hospital right now. Jonathan didn't waste any time in getting up and running to his car. Driving as swiftly as he could, he entered his father's room at the hospital. Sadly, the man's injuries were too serious for the medics to treat, and he passed away in spite of their best efforts. Mother and son Jonathan were inconsolable. How could this have happened, particularly to one of the most gentlemen they had ever met? Even worse than that, though, was Jonathan's sense that he had scarcely seen his father in the previous 5 years. The young man had consistently refused the man's requests to go fishing, or even just spend some time together. After the funeral, which left both Jonathan and his mother sobbing the whole time, Jonathan felt as though a huge piece of himself was gone. For the next few months, he didn't know what to do with himself. One day, the young man decided to clean out some of the family's old belongings from the shed. As he was going through the old structure, he unexpectedly came across his father's old fishing gear. Shocked by his discovery, Jonathan made the decision to go fishing in the lake he and his father used to visit in an attempt to locate the unusual animal. After arriving at their regular location, Jonathan set up his gear and relaxed to take in the peace and quiet. Jonathan started to reflect on all the times he had spent fishing in that same lake with his father as he waited for a nibble on his line. Jonathan was thinking back to one of his best memories when he felt something tug on his fishing pole. Something had gotten hold of him. The beast resisted the young man's attempts to tame it just as fiercely. There was no doubting the size of whatever was on the other end of the line. Jonathan struggled with the fish for a few minutes before succeeding in getting it out of the water. But when he realized what sort of fish it was, he started to wail angrily. The burbot, which he and his father had been looking for all this time, was there, on the other end of his pole. It was one of the rarest and oddest fish to have ever existed in the lake. Jonathan couldn't help but feel closer to his father than he had in a long time, even if he was unhappy that he wasn't with him at the time. After all these years, he had accomplished what he and his father had set out to do, and for a split second, Jonathan could have thought he felt his father there, proud of what he had accomplished. From that point on, the young man went fishing every weekend. Knowing that his father would have approved, he made sure to teach his own son all of the valuable lessons his own father had given him when he was born. What a charming tale. Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. Please remember to subscribe to our channel, give us a thumbs up, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of our videos. If you enjoyed the tale, the next video that plays on your screen will probably move you too.